The bigoted founder of the account Libs of TikTok, Chaya Raichik, may have been at the Capitol building on January 6th. Oh, interesting. So now, during an extremely transphobic and homophobic interview with Tucker Carlson, shall not show, although there is one video from it that, well, I will show you later. She did reveal her face. Okay. Now, after that had happened, it didn't take long for people to notice that, wait a minute, kind of looks like somebody who was there on January 6th. A very uncanny resemblance, and I'm going to see if we can figure this out, of someone who was trespassing on Capitol grounds during the Capitol insurrection. So now, according to disinformation researcher Chad Loader, writing on their newsletter, Loader collected a bunch of evidence that this person is Raichik and provided some receipts. They also noted screenshots of a Twitter account, Chaya Ray, which software developer Travis Brown identified back in April to be associated with Raichik, and appeared to show her describing heading to D.C. on that day. The one now deleted tweet said this, quote, "I'm taking off work to come support Trump. Every single supporter matters." And so that said, I want to start showing you the images here, and we'll see if we can see if there's a bit of a resemblance between Raichik and, well, the person on January 6th. So we'll start out here with an image of Chaya during the interview with Tucker Carlson. All right, so there she is. Now I want to show you now one from the Capitol grounds. All right, so that's Capitol grounds. You get the MAGA hat, somebody who looks very, very much like Miss Raichik. Okay, so notice the ring on her hand. There's a nice little arrow pointing to that. All right, you have this person, okay, that was making a TikTok video, and there she is in the background. And then finally, you have this image. Go to Chad Loader's site, check out their article. It's going to be linked in the description for all the different receipts. But this is just to give you an overview of how that person looks very, very similar. Therefore, actually might be her. Loader alleged or based this evidence again from videos and others that Raichik had joined the crowds in a restricted area of the Capitol, which Loader said amounted to trespassing. Now, other than, of course, than that, there was no evidence that Raichik had done anything else illegal, like breaking into the building or fighting police officers, etc. She was there. So, interesting. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, I mean, again, it is interesting to know that she was very much likely there during January 6th. But I want to show you this video because it really was interesting here. It caught my eye when she talked about cults.
I think there's something so unique about the LGBTQ community has become this cult, and it's so captivating, and it pulls people in so strongly, unlike anything we've ever seen. And they brainwash people to join, and they convince them of all of these things, and it's really, really hard to get out of it. It's really difficult, and there are studies on this. Like there's been a lot of reporting on this about people. Parents who are like, my child is starting to say, that they're non-binary or transgender or whatever, and what do I do? How do I stop this? And it's really, really difficult. It's unlike anything we've ever seen, I think. It's extremely poisonous.
Oh, did you see the ring? Interesting. So now what she says there, of course, is ridiculous. Oh, so it's so poisonous. First of all, let me just note that she has basically no on-screen presence. None at all. Absolutely no charisma. And she's on Tucker Carlson's show? I mean, so incredibly boring to listen to. But aside from her being super boring, what she's saying is actually incredibly dangerous. And I'll give you some examples of what her rhetoric has led to. All right. But she says that, oh, it's the LGBTQ plus community. That's the cult. Really? Really? That's the cult? Look, I've noticed in my years of doing this that a lot of people's brains have essentially been just destroyed thanks to MAGA, QAnon, which is a very cult-like behavior. And again, you want to talk about cults. For the last 6 years, numerous conservatives have basically worshipped a con man. A con man who kept ripping them off day in and day out. And it's very ironic that Chaya Raichik, who was enough of a MAGA member to allegedly, if that is indeed her, to have shown up at the Capitol building. Like, I don't know, that's a little weird. They showed up because they believed that the election was stolen from them. Well, why did they believe that? When there was absolutely no evidence to show that there was a stolen election. It's because Donald Trump told them to. It's because the right-wing media told them to. They're a cult. They're a cult. If anybody's a member of the cult, it's her. It's her. And so it is 100% projection on her part to say that, oh, they're in the cult. No, you're in the cult. And what's more probable, actually, than her being part of the cult is actually using MAGA supporters as useful idiots to build a brand. And we've seen this before. The, grifter MAGA industrial complex is strong. Numerous examples of that. You have, people like Candace Owens, for example, who was selling colloidal silver for COVID and railing against vaccines. Colloidal silver had a cure for COVID. All these MAGA grifters that are around, people who should know better or who do know better, wanting to make a buck. And they go after the easiest marks they can find. And that just happens to be right-wingers. They'll fall for anything in this case. But if you try to present facts to them or logic or nuance, they're not interested at all. Not interested at all. And it's irritating because we don't have to agree on everything. We just need to agree on reality. And apparently that's too difficult of a sell for a lot of them. But like I said, regardless of what she's doing or why, the reason, look, what she's doing to the LGBTQ community is putting their lives in danger. She's not just presenting, videos from TikTok. See, and that's the thing. That's her defense. Like, I'm just presenting for who they are. No, you're adding commentary to it. Again, in many cases, she's saying people, of the people that are in the videos that she shares that are gay and trans, oh, this person must be grooming children. They're a groomer. They're evil. Look at that groomer. See how they're grooming the children? By using pronouns. Oh, but there's a pedophile. Look at that pedophile. We should do something about the pedophile. You know what? Here's their personal information. So you can just contact them and show them how we treat groomers and pedophiles. That's what she does. That's what she does. Tucker Carlson, I mean, that's, white nationalist fash hour, essentially. And he gave her a gigantic signal boost to spread homophobia, transphobia, and allowed her to basically build her brand bigger off of it. And again, we know the vast majority of groomers and pedophiles are not LGBTQ folks. They're straight men. Oftentimes, we've seen that they're religious and right-wing, or profess to be, or proclaim to be religious. For example, some 333,000 children This is a report that came out last month, were abused by the French Catholic Church. Now, I love how she referenced back in that video, oh, there's numerous studies that prove what I'm saying. Really, which ones? Which ones? You want to come out with that? No, you don't have studies. You have right-wing blogs. You have Gateway Pundit. You've discredited people. Yeah, of course. And look, these 333,000 children abused by the French Catholic Church. First of all, it's not the first Catholic sex abuse scandal that has happened. And it's not the first that has been systematically covered up by the authorities, by people in the church. There's a serious issue with child rape and exploitation in religion, in religious institutions. And yet, these people, like Raichik, they say, no, don't look at that. Don't look at the actual real child exploitation that's happening to little boys, mainly, 80% of them. No, let's look at pronouns. People who use pronouns in classrooms. People who are transgender. Who just want to go to the bathroom. That's where we're gonna direct all of our attention. We're gonna direct our attention to children's hospitals and drag shows, and away from where the real exploitation and abuse is happening. No, if anyone is evil, it's the people who are taking the time and the eyes and the resources, shining the light away from the real abuse and pointing it at people who have done absolutely nothing wrong. That's the real evil. The evil is protecting the actual predators in these institutions and going after people who are innocent. That's evil. So if anybody is part of an evil cult, it's Chaya Raichik.